I'm Catherine, and welcome to my one-year experiment. It is week number 2, and it is January 13th. If you saw my first video, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's perfectly fine. I am now on day number 11 of 14 of getting up before 6 o'clock, and I did finish the book, The Alchemist. And I am starting on a new book, which is called Becoming Supernatural. This book is by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and if you saw my first video, then you know Breaking a Habit of Being Yourself, also by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So really quickly, I told myself I would read this book before the end of January, which I initially thought was a little bit intimidating. When I got this book, I didn't realize how hefty it was, and I also didn't realize how sciencey. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit intimidated initially when I first got the book. I have rediscovered this personality trait of mine, which is called determination. This determination has come up multiple times this week, not just with, doing this book, because I said I was going to do it, but also in completing my getting up early, and I've even seen her come to life at work. So it's kind of funny because I was telling my partner, I genuinely can't remember the last time that I felt determined. I don't know, so it's kind of funny. I really like her. She gets a lot of shit done. She also builds my confidence when something's hard. I also just want to briefly give you a quick overview of last week's habit. Getting up at 6, I started experiencing a little bit of resistance. Nothing that overtook me, but I started experiencing some resistance, and that resistance was especially in the morning times at 6 when I'm trying to get up. The first week, I feel like it was all enthusiasm that was helping me. And after the first week, I think this week was my first week where my body realized, oh, this isn't just a special day. This is something that she's trying to create for herself. And I think as my body started realizing that it was something that I was trying to create for myself, and that it was becoming a habit, I felt my body sort of fighting back maybe. One thing I am consistently hearing my body tell me is that it's not getting enough sleep, and I know that's not true because I one day even went to bed at 7:30, and still when I got up in the morning I still was exhausted. It's just something that my body's trying to tell myself so that I can go back to my comfort zone. This week, I listened to a podcast by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Clearly, I'm a fan. Anyways, I was listening to a podcast by him, and he speaks about this bridge. Essentially, it's kind of like life where you're currently at and the life you want to be living. He kind of describes it as like a bridge. I kind of had this epiphany where I felt myself sort of crossing the bridge, and then I got scared and realized if I had time to still turn back, instead of being scared and going all the way over the bridge to the other side to experience some of the unknown. If you saw my last video, then you knew that I was pursuing becoming a life coach as a full-time job, and that went on for a few months. But I kind of was thinking, going back and thinking of myself at that time, and started realizing on that bridge it was kind of I got over it a little bit and then got scared and turned back and went to my old habits, my old ways, things I was more familiar with. I knew I could make money doing this. I knew that I found safety in the known. That's kind of what this whole one-year experiment is all about. It's about creating the person that I need to be in order to get where I want to be at in life. So along the way, as I go over this bridge, this 365-day bridge, it's inevitable to certain personality traits of mine are going to change by the time I get to the other side of the bridge. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think the first personality trait that has arisen in me that I kind of talked about earlier was determination, and man, makes me proud. In my last video, I also mentioned that I would talk about the book, The Alchemist. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that wants to read the book. I will just say that this book is a really good read. A lot of these books that I read talk about the interconnection of the universe. It talks about how everything is connected, everything is energy. The book, The Alchemist, I'll say the biggest thing that I took away from this is I do feel myself approaching life as an alchemist, in the sense of not just obtaining knowledge, but also finding that knowledge from within and really bringing things out of myself and searching for things within myself instead of externally. Instead of just consuming information, I really do find myself looking inside to learn more and develop more and apply all the things that I've learned. So I'm really happy about that. Another thing that I did this week that I was really proud about was I got crystal clear on what it was that I wanted to manifest by the end of this whole experiment. And I will share it with you guys at some point, but for right now, I think I want to keep it to myself. I wrote this to myself, and maybe on Wednesday I got crystal clear about it. And as I was writing it, I realized that what I was asking for was extremely specific and something big. I decided to ask for that because I wanted to know that it wasn't just my hard work that got me there. I wanted to know that it was myself that gave it to me. I want to know that it was God, and I want to know that it was the universe gifting me this. I just wanted to know that it wasn't something that I could have acquired on my own. I wanted it to be big, and I wanted it to be specific, and I wanted to know that it was true manifestation. So after I got crystal clear about it, a few days later, I started to feel guilty for what I had written down a few days prior, and I started to feel unworthy or greedy. So today was a really special day. This morning, I decided to kind of listen to a song that has been resonating with me, and as I was listening to that song, I was just playing solitaire, and all of a sudden I just really felt the lyric. I realized that what I was asking for in this journey even wasn't even for me. It was for the people around me to also feel inspired and also realize that it's possible for themselves as well. And it kind of felt like a mass responsibility, but a responsibility that I'm proud to take on. I felt really proud in that moment. I'd just been having this like heavy weight on my chest ever since, and I do get scared that if I've been having self-doubt, if you can't tell, this week as well. And it does make me nervous that if it doesn't happen, then I've kind of let everybody down, you know? I don't know. I say that out loud, but then as I say it, I know that that's not true, because it's not my choice to decide when it happens. I don't get to say, oh, you finished this 1-year experiment, so I must have it tomorrow. It's not my choice. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says that we only have the rights to our labor, but not the fruits of our labor. I may have messed that quote up a little bit, but it's a beautiful quote that reminds me of kind of maybe what I'm feeling right now, that we're not entitled to success. We're not entitled to the things that we ask for in life. The only thing we're entitled to is the work that we put in for it. And honestly, in my opinion, if the work's pure, the work's good, the work's consistent, it's inevitable that it would happen, even if it takes 10 years, you know? Just the consistency is what matters. The 1% of getting better is what I think matters the most. As I'm creating these videos, these week by week videos, I feel like I am understanding how habits are formed better. I'm having a more understanding of myself, and even creating these week to week videos, they just feel like journals to myself, and I just hope that they resonate with somebody out there. I wanted to just say that I decided to start reading Becoming Supernatural, which I mentioned earlier, and I am super excited about this book. I think all the readings and teachings are super interesting, and honestly, I can share more of what I learned with you guys. I didn't really want to make this a science-y page, but that's kind of who I am at heart. But for right now, it's a quick video, and I just appreciate the people coming along on this journey. It's a special journey, and this journey is only going to be more impactful each week. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you for coming along on this journey with me, and hopefully my journey inspires you. My ultimate goal with these videos is my mindset is obviously going to develop, my attitude, my personality, my work ethic, my things are going to develop, and certain things are going to come to fruition. And I just think that it's important to know my mindset and where I was to begin with at the beginning of this journey of it all. So it's kind of a fun process to just record personal journals to myself and hopefully share it with you guys, and maybe you resonate with it. So thank you. See you next week.